Hello and welcome to Winfield's week of Rugby League, and what a big week it was, mainly at the Sydney Cricket Ground. Started last Tuesday with the State of Origin won by New South Wales over Queensland. Then on Saturday, just a slight diversion away from headquarters with North Sydney playing Western Suburbs. Sunday it was Parramatta versus St George. We'll have all the highlights of that, the NEC big game. And then of course the start of Tooheys Monday night football, the match between South Sydney and Illawarra. So as you can see, the Sydney Cricket Ground was a very busy place, and that's where it all started last Tuesday night, a memorable one for the Blues of New South Wales, going 2-up in the State of Origin over Queensland.
And the lights of the Sydney Harbour Bridge greet viewers all around Australia for this, the second of the Winfield State of Origin matches for 1986. And there it is, what a sight that is, the lights of the Sydney Cricket Ground, which is venue for what should be a marvellous battle tonight. Queensland, with their backs against the wall, must win this to keep the series alive. Last year, this corresponding match drew 39,060 people, and there you see them, packed in again for this, what should be a marvellous match tonight. The enormous banner erected to greet the New South Wales side, and the fans love it. Wayne Pearce, captain of the side up in Lang Park, of course retains his job tonight, and he's done a great job of geeing his teammates up. Still yelling encouragement as they run onto the field to join him. Faces in the Queensland side. There'll be a lot of butterflies in their stomachs as they run onto the field. There are 5 changes to the Queensland side that played 2 weeks ago. Here's the side. Gary Belcher is there instead of Colin Scott. Shearer on one wing, Kiss there instead of Close. Meninga and Miles in the centre. Lewis and Murray, the 5'8" and halfback. Ian French is the lock forward, replacing Bobby Lindner, but Lindner got a belated chance when Brian Niebling withdrew today. He's in the second row with Gavin Jones, Darryl Broman in the front row with Cavill Hugh, another new player, and Greg Conescu at hooker. The New South Wales side, only the one change from the victorious Lang Park team. Gary Jack fullback, Hetherington there instead of Steve Morris, who withdrew with injury. The other winger is Farah, O'Connor and Mortimer in the centre. Kenny and Sterling at 5'8" and halfback. Wayne Pearce is the lock-in captain. Cleland Folks in the second row. Tunks and Roach are the 2 props. And Roy Simmons, our man of the match in Brisbane 2 weeks ago, is there as hooker. And there he is, the man they call the Grasshopper. In fact, they call him many things. If the players have any sense, they'll call him Sir. Barry Gomersall is the referee. Mal Meninga, one of the many Sydney-based players in the Queensland side. And there's the captain, Wally Lewis. We're all set. Referee Gomersall asking both sides if they're ready. New South Wales need to win this to wrap it up. There's the kick-off. We're underway in the Winfield State of Origin match number 2. And New South Wales starting it off, and down it goes to Belcher. His first touch of the football, and he's brought down just short of his own quarter line. Cavill Hugh. Now Lindner running from dummy half and making some progress as well. Now they're 10 metres short of the halfway mark, Queensland. Conescu, back for Meninga. The long kick. Gary Jack waiting for it. He has it, but he's only 10 metres out from his own line now. Met and put down in a pretty hefty tackle by the 3 Queenslanders. So New South Wales have the ball now, just 15 metres or so out from their own line. Roy Simmons is dummy half. Running off him is Roach. He's up to the quarter line. Simmons to the left, this time to Tunks. The Tunks put down by Lindner and Miles. Now it's back for the kick. Mortimer sending it back down to Queensland territory. Les Kiss not taking it cleanly, knocking it behind him. And put down in a very strong tackle from Wayne Pearce. Jack Gibson, I know that Kiss is one of your favourite players.
Well, I think he's the best player to come out of Queensland this year, and maybe a year or two back. He can certainly crossed the line, and he's got plenty of speed and ability to get the job done.
Saw the ferocity in those tackles in as Wally Lewis touched the ball for the first time. Now Queensland have it just on the halfway mark. Fumbling by Canescu, back for Meninga again. And again, Jack has some work to do. It's gone away from Jack. Sterling has gone back for it. Sterling has it and straight away gives it to Jack. Can't beat the very fast-moving Queensland defence, though. He's put down. A long pass from Sterling across to Kenny. New South Wales have it just 12 metres out from their own line. Old Cleo playing it back from Mortimer again. A poor kick from Mortimer off the side of his boot, but it's going to find touch anyway. So fortune smiling on Mortimer. Finding touch just 10 metres short of the halfway mark in New South Wales territory. These two packs about to come together for the first time in this scrum. Be fed by Murray for Queensland. Gone with the feed. Back with Lewis, running around with Belcher. Belcher saw the little gap. Still going is Belcher, leaking out now for support with Miles. Away it goes to Shearer, who's got the run. Well, maybe a golden opportunity for Queensland. And Shearer putting it down. So Queensland on the attack, Darryl.
Yes, and this is a different sort of Queensland side that we saw at Lang Park. There's a lot of purpose in their attack now as they take the ball up. And their, well, I think their flair in attack is much sharper, and their defence certainly a lot heavier than we saw at Lang Park. 5 minutes in the sin bin here for, who is it, Canescu? No, Canescu not moving. Roach is gone. Roach for New South Wales has gone for 5 minutes in the bin. Well, something we didn't expect. Let's have a look on the replay now. There's Roach, and there's a knee comes up. I guess that's what it's for. That knee into the face of Bryman, and we have Roach in the sin bin for 5 minutes. That was Roach's first tackle, incidentally. So we're talking about the Queensland attack and Queensland defence being a lot stronger than we saw at Lang Park. Here's the kick now, and it's through the post. So Queensland draw first blood at the Sydney Cricket Ground. Queensland leading New South Wales 2-0. New South Wales with a chance. Tunks now takes up 10 metres out. The Blues have the footballer 8 metres out from Queensland's line. Simmons a dummy half, looks for a run, he gets Pearce. Pearce unwinds, they back slam him down about 5 metres out. Back to Roy Simmons. Oh, Simmons belted down by Lewis before he could even unload the ball. Big defence from Lewis. Out it goes to Sterling. Sterling on to Kenny. Kenny claps on a bit of pace. Half the gap, but wrapped up too quickly. Roach now running back onto the field of play. Steve Roach, but New South Wales with everything at the moment. Noel Cleal attacking. Ian Maurice a chance for the Blues.
As Roach rejoins his team, New South Wales on the attack. Last tackle signal. Sterling a little grubber kick for his outside back. It's anybody's ball. Race for it. Belcher got there. And Belcher has pushed over the touch in goal area. But a near thing for Queensland. They lead 2 points to 0. Again, the kick from Mortimer. Belcher has it. He's got Kiss with him. Kiss has it now. Kiss tries to beat the tackle of Kenny. Does so. Got to the halfway mark. Kiss still going strongly. Belcher's with him, but can't get away. Takes the tackle. Good run from Kiss. Queensland now on the attack. Away it goes to Murray. Inside for Lindner. He gets to the quarter line. Queensland playing with a lot of confidence. Canescu getting it across for, now it's Lewis and French. French caught by Sterling and Cleal just outside the quarter. There's Shearer. Caught by Mortimer and Folkes in centre field just on the quarter line of New South Wales. Cross for Murray. A move. And coming up with it was Carroll Hugh. Last tackle now as Lewis puts a little kick through, trying to regain, but it's taken nicely by Chris Mortimer. 2 points to nothing, Queensland lead, and a good run, excellent run from Andrew Farrar. Will play back towards the quarter line, across to Sterling. Now to Kenny. Kenny still going. Kenny raining strongly. A overhead pass has gone to the touch judge. Fine run from Brett Kenny. Unfortunately for New South Wales, the pass went astray.
Well, he did everything right till he released the football, and he's not getting paid to throw it over the sideline. It was a wild pass.
So this scrum is just 10 metres inside New South Wales territory. Gone with the feed. Lewis has it. Caught by Kenny. This is a dummy half. Now with Murray. Murray takes the tackle right in the cricket pitch area, but exciting football at the cricket ground, Darryl.
Certainly is. In Queensland, what a start they've made, Jack, compared to Lang Park. There's a lot more purpose in their running, and their defence has been first class.
Well, I think they've certainly won 3 scrums. The last 3 scrums, there was 4 scrums contested, and they've had the feed. So they've worked that opportunity.
Lewis with a little bust down, he gets it on the Benitez, they got a score under the post. Queensland made the break and then made the bust, and it's French under the post for the first try of the match. Queensland. Well, that came out of nothing. Have a look at this. The pass went to Canescu on to Murray. Murray linked up with Lewis. Lewis made the bust. Got through Cleel's tackle. They tried to take him ball and all. Meninga then just had French on the inside of him, and Queensland under the sticks. Good try.
Well, Lewis made something of nothing here. He just cut straight up centre field and found Meninga, and Meninga found the lock. The big play was they ran straight.
Lewis there with a bust on the Meninga. Gets it back to French. Beautiful pass, and French beautifully positioned too. Now Meninga now, lined up, dead set in front. It's a sitter. New South Wales. Pearce having plenty to say about the defence as Meninga lines it up. There it goes. Oh, it only just got there, I'll tell you. Only just got there. The score now. Queensland 8, New South Wales 0. O'Connor now restarts for New South Wales. Well, a shock start here. Queensland 8-0. They bring it back. And look at the purpose with Belcher now as he runs. It's Sterling that brings him down. Gene Miles from dummy half just takes play over the 22. Canescu dummy half. Runs from there. Nice little short ball up for Cavill Hugh. Back for Meninga. This has been the tactic, Jack, every time they've got in that area, and they're kicking on about the second and third tackle. Back for Meninga to clear.
Well, they kick straight down centre field. They haven't gone for a sideline shot. They just want field position, and their forwards are upfield before the ball's played, so they're getting a little bit of time.
Gary Jack gets a ball back for Pearce. Pearce looking to unload, but he can't. This defence of Queensland, one low, one over the top, making sure he can't unload the ball. Runarounds going everywhere it comes to Roach. He belts his way. Only 4 or 5 minutes and it's on. There's plenty of punches being thrown at the moment. Roy Simmons was throwing them like Jimmy Carruthers did against Vic Toweel many, many years ago in South Africa. 2 hookers having a duel there. Well, it's a clean skin game, the one at Lang Park, with not a punch thrown, but feelings running high. Queensland have to win this one. New South Wales would like to wrap it up tonight. Here's Roach going in now. Bryman over the top. There was Miles, but there's the fight back further as the hookers trade blows.
And some pretty loose tackling now as Bates makes the bust. Cross the line. A desperation tackling from Belcher. Say what would have been a try. Now New South Wales, can they do it? Sterling across to Simmons. Under the another handed pass to Pearce. Back for Tunks. And then it goes to Simmons. Can he do it again? Roy Simmons is caught just short. So near yet so far. Simmons to play it. Cleo dummy half now with Sterling across to Kenny. A long floater out there for O'Connor. And it goes to Farah. Farah's in to score. Farah's there. New South Wales come back. Well, they were so close on the opposite side of the field, and you saw it spin, and that pass from Kenny, that one there, cut out pass, got into O'Connor, quick hands onto Farah. Farah went straight for the corner, and in he went to put New South Wales on the board.
Watch out, Queensland.
It was a great shot from Kenny there. Well, he cut out a play. See, the pressure mounted early. They had their forwards and most of their defensive players around. They play the ball area, and that quick pass out there was enough to catch him 4 points, but he's very wide for a kick.
I don't think he could be any further out than he is. Right on the touchline. Now, Michael O'Connor has kicked some great goals for New South Wales and for his St George club. Huge angle on this one. The crowd will tell you whether it's there. Michael O'Connor from the touchline. Lagged away. So the score remains Queensland 8, leading New South Wales 4.
Sterling gets it out to Kenny. Kenny now, New South Wales with a chance for O'Connor. Make a few valuable metres. Sterling again, the little general directing players. He gets it on to Pearce. Pearce with an overhead. Head pass goes on to Cleel with a bustling run. Cleel just short of the 22. Centre of the field, so New South Wales have the option to go either side as Sterling puts a floater on. He gets it to Kenny. Kenny will get it out, and they're going to get it. Oh, great play. O'Connor in for New South Wales. Up another Kenny pass. A beauty. Oh, listen to the crowd. Well, they had the numbers. Sterling there saw the numbers out. He gave it to Kenny. Kenny made the bust and got a beautiful ball to O'Connor, and O'Connor goes in for the Blues try number 2.
Well, a lot of people played their part there. Roy Simmons got a good smart shot away from dummy half straight to Sterling again, and Kenny was flat strap as he took it. All he had to do, he shot it straight through to that winger. And that was a good try, excellent try.
There it goes in the air. It looks like it'll fall short. Yes, it does. Waved away. So the score remains Queensland 8, New South Wales 8, locked together.
Barra the dummy, but takes the tackle. 10 metres short of the halfway mark. O'Connor. Cross for Steve Folkes, right on the halfway mark. An interested observer, Liverpool's Craig Johnston, watching his mate Peter Sterling in action as the Blues throw it around very nicely. Pearce got it away to Hetherington. Plenty of runners too as Roach got it. An overhead pass for Mortimer. Linking up with Mortimer is Pearce for the corner. He's there. Well, there was any number of players involved in that. New South Wales handling superb, passing great. And Wayne Pearce is in the corner. It all started back about here. There was a mix-up with the defence. Hetherington made the break. Roach was there to back up. Heard the call, flicked it back inside for Mortimer. Outside him was Pearce. Pearce saw the corner. Nothing was going to stop him. Despite Linda's tackle, he was able to score.
Well, the Blues certainly had a lot of people there. But again, Pearce, he started that play and he stayed alive. And he's rewarded with a fine try.
Yeah, look at all those Blue jumpers there backing up. Great try. That was Mortimer. A dummy inside, then to Pearce on the outside. In the corner he went. Fine try from New South Wales. They've hit the front. 12-8. They're making it pretty difficult for Michael O'Connor, though. They're scoring out very, very wide. He's only about 2 metres in from the touchline. And the ball falls over. Indicative of the way the game is going, Jack, New South Wales have held the ball for 70 tackles compared to Queensland's 39.
Well, Queensland kicked a little early. Probably that has something to do with it, but if Queensland really want to get into this game, they've got to certainly got to pay more attention to Peter Sterling. He's been in there just about on every player's first receiver.
The kick from O'Connor across the face of the goal mouth, flagged away. The score remains New South Wales 12, Queensland 8.
Scrum's collapsed. We'll see which way the penalty goes. It goes to Queensland. Scrum fell down, screw around and fell down, and he's given Queensland the penalty. Well, this is another chance. No, this is a differential penalty, so they'll kick for line. It'll give them a very, very good chance for attack. 2.5 minutes remaining in this first half. Critical play now from Queensland. Lewis has given them the chance. Can they do it? Canescu gets it onto Cavill. Hugh, darting run from Hugh now, but they're nice and deep, Queensland. Lewis, the general, goes on to Jones. Big, strong, powerful run by Jones, almost to the New South Wales line now. There's Murray. Murray with a darting run, but the New South Wales defence reads it well. Queensland need to do something pretty quickly. They've got to vary the play. Lewis looking for runners. Linder was too close to him. He's got to take the tackle, Lewis. That's bad play from Queensland. Linder crowded him. He couldn't unload it. Gene Miles, he'll go from dummy half, the big man. Put down, though, plenty of blue defence. Running out of tackles. Canescu gets it on now. There's a little chip kick from Bryman. Up it goes in the goal mouth. Up they go for it. It could be a chance. Bobby Linder's got it, but held up over the line. It is a try. Well, we'll wait and see, but yes, it's been awarded a try. Kiss has scored the try. We'll have to see that on the replay. Bryman put the kick up. Now, it came out from Canescu. It went on to Bryman. Here's the man's skill, and that's why he's in the side. The little chip. Now, they had it covered. Up they went for it. It was loose. Rolling around. Kiss got it, and he forced it. Fair try to Queensland, and that's the one they wanted.
Well, there was nothing new about this play. I think the New South Wales just had to knock that ball over the dead ball line if possible. They didn't want it floating around there because Queensland were liable to score.
Mal Meninga. Right in front again. An easy, oh, well, I suppose he's about 15 metres off centre. 10 metres in. Bobby Linder. Great try for Queensland. Wow, have we got a ball game? 12 apiece. Meninga can put him in front with this one. There it goes. It's off skew though. No go. 12 all. Queensland, New South Wales locked together in the second encounter. Just 5 seconds to half time, and Mr. Gomersall says that's it, take a break. And we're locked all here at the Sydney Cricket Ground in a wonderful game of rugby league.
Referee Gomersall checks both sides. 12 all is the score. Second half of this Winfield State of Origin match underway. And New South Wales now in possession as Gary Jack brings it out from his own goal line. And almost gets to the corner line before he's put down by Jones and Miles. But straight away a penalty to New South Wales. Referee Gomersall saw something in the tackle. Jones is the man who's been spoken to. See if we can pick up what it all was. Well, there it is over the top. Jones coming down with a rabbit killer. Now it's with Sterling. Again, the kick from Sterling down for Belcher. Oh, what a bad bounce for Belcher too. That's dangerous. Picked up by Meninga, in fact. Meninga moving upfield. He's got support, Meninga. He's to the halfway mark. Got it away to Shearer. And Shearer, ankle tap. Oh, that was dangerous stuff for New South Wales. Shearer will play the ball 32 metres out. Queensland on the attack, Earl.
They certainly are, as Big Miles makes the must up the centre and unloads two. And Queensland just clean up the dregs as New South Wales come over the top. But there's a knock-on, so that'll force a scrum. Paul Miles is dangerous when he gets half a metre start. Good attacking play from Queensland. 12 all the score. A thriller here at the Sydney Cricket Ground as Kenny unloads out to Farah. Farah taken down pretty quickly though. Gary Jack a dummy half. He goes for a little gallop from there too and just gets him outside that danger area of the 22. Roy Simmons, dummy half. He goes from dummy half and makes 3 or 4 metres by G, does that well. Cheeky little player, the hooker. Again, they go from dummy half, and this time it was Folkes put a loose ball down, and Cavill Hugh has cleaned it up for Queensland, so they're back in possession now. Chance for Queensland. Lewis looking to unload. Gets it to Murray. Murray steps round one, but quickly wrapped up. Folks over the top. Sterling underneath. Gene Miles, what's he doing there at dummy half as the runaround is put on? Bowman, the ball runner. The man they're hoping that can slip that pass to break the New South Wales defence as they use the back line. Lewis with a quick pass out to Meninga. They get it on to Shearer. Shearer puts it into gear. Wrapped up though, but makes some quick ground. They tried to take the ball and couldn't, and it goes into touch. Very determined run from Shearer. Look at the determination on his face as he tries to sidestep back in the field of play. Too many blue jumpers. He hangs onto the ball like it was a gold nugget.
Centre field just short of the quarter line. 12 points all. Royce Simmons has a little scurry from the dummy half position. That was a good run too. He made about 15 metres. Folks at dummy half. Back from Mortimer. Down again for Belcher. Certainly testing him out tonight. Cross field goes Belcher. Almost able to slip the pass, but Sterling took him in the tackle. This kiss on the halfway mark. Back from Murray. Under one tackle. Got to 10 metres inside New South Wales half now. Across to Lewis. Short pass to Miles. On it goes to Belcher. A long floater out there for Kiss. Has been knocked down by Hetherington. Hetherington's lost it. Kiss picks it up and scores. What a try. What a mistake. I don't believe it. I see it, but I don't believe it. Ron Woolley doesn't believe it either. Well, here's how it happened. Now it was Lewis, made the break. A one-handed pass from Miles onto Belcher. Belcher saw Kiss, but his pass was knocked down by Hetherington, who desperately tried to pick it up, had it, lost it. Kiss said, thank you, the try is mine.
Well, it seemed to be a malfunction there, but when you look at it on video, it's a fair try. Replay, the knockback comes down off the New South Wales player. He just fumbles his way upstream for 5 or 6 yards, and Queensland pick it up.
Well, that is one of the strangest tries you'll ever see. I agree with you, Jack. It looked questionable when we saw it first, but the replay has proven Mr. Gomersov was spot on. A mistake made by Hetherington. He was the one who touched the ball in the first place. Kiss didn't get a hand to it until such time as the ball was loose, and he was able to dive over for the try. Now the kick from Meninga is flagged away, so Queensland hang on to the lead, 16 points to 12.
Linda wrapped up quickly, held up, can't do anything about it. Queensland now will look to kick out of trouble. Now it comes with Big Jones. Jones makes a bust, but there's been an intercept. Kenny's intercepted as he makes his way to the line now, and he's about 15 metres out. The Blues back in attack. The mode is attacked now as Simmons gets it out to Sterling. Sterling on the crusher, Cleel. Cleel unloads quickly. Folks is a man with the ball, but Queensland have him wrapped up. Quickly played forward by Folks. He goes again another 5 metres. Well, New South Wales a chance. Trailing 16 points to 12, New South Wales. Can they come back, the Blues? Sterling dancing around inside. Gets it on to Cleel, but Cleel brought down quickly with a good defence from Queensland now. Back they fling it. Roach gets it on to Gary Jack, but he's belted down about 8 metres out onto last tackle. Watch for the bomb. Where's Sterling? Back to Sterling now. There it is, a little grubber. This time they run through. Queensland miss. Fumble, and we'll wait and see. It's going to be close. No try. Well, a let off for Queensland then. A clever little kick from Sterling. He decided not to put it in the air. He put it along the ground. Have a look. There's the fumble by French, and Kenny oh so close. Tough man Tunks just takes it up the centre for the settler. Comes back to Simmons, gets it on to Roach. The big men doing their work now. Roach trying to get out of the tackle. Still going, Roach, with a bustling, tough run. Back to Royce Simmons. Looking for the runners now. It comes back to Cleel. Cleel belts his way in and out of tackles. He's unloaded to Sterling. Sterling now dancing around, but there's no way he can get the ball out. Gary Jack will play it. Jack Quickly down to Sterling. Sterling looking for the runners outside. It's Kenny. Kenny inside to Folkes. Wrapped up ball and all. Last tackle for New South Wales. Royce Simmons. Sterling puts it in the air this time. Plenty of chasers. Up they go for it. It's a loose ball again. Oh, and so close. Queensland are down hurt. And New South Wales have run it back into a hole. Well, Ian, they've kept the pressure on Queensland. Can they make the break?
Well, can Queensland react to this pressure? They've been under enormous pressure. Now they're leading by 4 points. New South Wales with the football, desperately trying to breach this Queensland defence. Here's Sterling with it. Across it comes now to Pearce. And Pearce is sandwiched in the tackle. Can't offload. Referee says penalty New South Wales. Well, he's waving his hands back to indicate that those outside backs of Queensland were offside.
Well, they may have been offside too, but not that much. Yes, there's a player offside. It was that was a good decision. The thing that I can't work out, how did Queensland are in front in this game? They're in front before.
Well, he did wait Jack until Meninga got into the play, so I suppose that's fair enough. Now, the penalty given to New South Wales. O'Connor's going to have a shot for goal. He's 32 metres out. He's just to the right of the right-hand upright. He's yet to kick a goal. Mind you've had some pretty tough kicks. This is probably the easiest kick he's had all night. Michael O'Connor. It's in the air. It looks good to me. Right between the posts. New South Wales are on the way back. Queensland 16. The Blues 14. No one wants to come off, and it's Gavin Jones, the second row forward, coming from the field. Brad Tessman on. Tessman was called in as a replacement in this match when Brian Meebling withdrew this morning with a virus. Penalty to New South Wales from the scrum. Beat across is the ruling from Mr. Gomersall. And Wally Lewis, the Queensland captain, puzzled by all that. 4 straight penalties that New South Wales have received. This, of course, is a differential, and Farah will kick for touch and finds it right on the Queensland quarter line. Now, can the Blues come back now? Here's Tunks. Line side goes Pearce. Queensland defence holds. Simmons, short pass to Cleal. Broman takes him. But they're only 10 metres out now, the Blues. Simmons pass to Sterling, to Kenny. A dummy, but caught by Murray. Right on the Queensland quarter line. Now across to Jack, who's up to make an extra man. A flick pass inside for O'Connor. There's a gap for O'Connor. Still going, O'Connor. Finally caught, though, only about 11 metres out. Last tackle signal for the New South Wales side. It's back for Sterling. A short pass for Kenny. Kenny for the line.
Queensland coming back now for a quick restart with Mal Meninga. Can they come back? They've come back all night. Can they do it again? Back for Peter Sterling. Ian Maurice, as the Blues bring it back. Give us a rest.
Well, New South Wales have made a change. Gillespie is on. That's him with the ball now. And Peter Tunks has come from the field. Now, there's only 8 points of difference, so let's not get too excited here, because Queensland can certainly come back in this game. Peter Tunks, well played.
New South Wales will just play safety first football now. They can wrap the series up, but Queensland desperately want the football. They've got to get the football. Folkes out to Sterling, on to Pearce. Centre field now. Royce Simmons, dummy half. They go the other way. Here's Crusher Cleal. Gets it quickly out, and they're wrapped up with Gillespie. Cleal back for Mortimer. Mortimer says, let's get out of here. Now, Queensland have the ball. They've got to throw caution to the wind now, Jack Gibson.
Well, they're 8 behind, and there's minutes to go. There's 4 minutes to go. If they can't make up the leeway, it wouldn't matter what they done.
Meninga, pass back to Tessman, gets it on to Lindner. Lindner in the centre field, clear there, Mortimer there. Plenty of blue jumpers. Comes back for Miles. He's been a dummy half a lot. Bryman, half slip, went to Parson, thought better of it. Canescu. Back for Murray, on to Lewis, out for Meninga, short ball up for Belcher. Belcher with half a chance, they get it on to Kiss. It's brought down with a beautiful tackle from Peter Sterling. A copybook tackle right round the ankles. Jesus, super player. Watch this, there's Kiss. Look at that. Beautiful tackle. Sterling, base of the scrum. Murray has got Belcher. Belcher with a bit of room to move. He's got a chance here. Here's Shearer. Shearer in the open spaces. They won't get him. Queensland will go in. Dale Shearer goes in and runs it round for a better angle. And that's a try to Queensland. Oh, it's all happening in the Sydney Cricket Ground tonight. Well, Belcher set it up. There was a pass from Murray, but look at Belcher coming through on the boil. He got through tackle after tackle. Now this run by Shearer. He got through a tackle by Jack, stumbling, but the determination of the line. He had to get there for Queensland and did so. Mortimer there with a late last-ditch tackle. No go. Big try from Queensland.
Well, it's not a doubt New South Wales are looking at the scoreboard and seeing themselves 8 in front. Their intensity dropped off. They relaxed that little bit, and away they went.
Well, Queensland have declined the attempted conversion. They want the ball back. Now, time left. Really ticking away. They want the ball back. They've decided not to take the kick. This is a last-ditch attempt by Queensland. Belcher again. He's got the ball. They run it up, some big defence. Pearce over the top. Gillespie underneath. He's a big hitter, Gillespie. That hurt Belcher too. Here's Lewis. Lewis now, what can they do? Queensland. Shearer, the man who just scored the try, looking to unload it, but puts a loose one up, and New South Wales have got the ball and listen to the crowd. It was a gamble that Queensland took. They wanted to keep the ball, but New South Wales has it back. 1 minute of play remaining. 1 minute of play remaining. New South Wales just taking it up now. Well, that was a pretty gutsy move by Queensland. They said, no kick, we want the ball back. 24-20. With 40 seconds and the countdown is on. Sterling just taking the settler.
Well, that's the first time in the match I believe Sterling's been tackled. That's his first.
Gillespie unloads quickly. The countdown is on. They kick the line. Queensland take it. Canescu has said no. There was a knock on there, so there'll be a scrum, and this will be the last scrum of the match with 20 seconds, 19 and counting down. Whew, what a game of football, played at a fierce pace. And there's the countdown with the crowd. He'll feed the scrum, in it goes. Queensland leap on it. Listen to the crowd as they count it down. Lewis puts it up. Queensland chasing through. Kenny has taken it down. It's all. Oh, no, it's not over yet. Now it's all over. Barry Gomersall says that's it. And look at the crowd. Full-time score. Queensland 20 have been defeated by New South Wales. 24 as the Blues wrap up the series. Emotion running high here for New South Wales. Gary Jack had a great game tonight. Andrew Farrar did nothing wrong. Peter Sterling, a super game. Brett Kenny, what a great game. We've seen Kenny come back to his best as Wayne Pearce has been cheered off. A magic moment for New South Wales. Cheered off the skipper of the side. Had a great game too. And look at the look on Queensland's faces. Well, there's young Lamb. He didn't get on Terry Lamb, but he'll be sharing the moment. Big Roach. What a game Roach has had. Mortimer he hugs. And Queensland can't believe it. They've done everything to win this game. A fantastic game of rugby league. Nothing in it all the way. Queensland came back and hit their critics with a big performance. And it's written all over their faces, disappointment.
Well, our Saturday match of the day, of course, sees North Sydney once again involved, this time against the Western Suburbs Magpies, who were at home at Lidcombe Oval. North Sydney, well, they're trying to stay in touch with the top 5, so it's an important one for them. And the Magpies, well, they never say die, and they too believe that they have an extremely slim chance of the top 5.
Mick Stone in charge of proceedings out here, and West playing with the breeze in the first half. Back to the quarter line, Florimo. That's their new hooker this week, Ashley Lindsay. Remember, 4 hookers were on the field for Norths last week after that shocking injury to Rex Wright. If he's listening, I hope that things get better for you quickly, Rex, after snapping your Achilles tendon. Gavin Jones, tremendous game the other night, surprisingly replaced, and Mark Graham up on the blind side. Well, Steve-O, you've tipped Western Suburbs today with a lot of confidence.
I think so, yes. They've got to use this strong wind in the first half. It is to their advantage, and the kicking game also important in today's rugby league.
Now that's Sheehan to play it. Petherbridge straightening it. Cannon's ripped him to the deck. Short ball for Ellis. So just watch the first 10 minutes of action in the forwards here. See if West can assert a bit more authority than they did last week. Freeman there. The man from Cooma. Fox. Williams. Petherbridge. Hitting it hard. Williams again. Good ball. Burns finding the centre, John Henderson, the English player having his first run in top grade for West today. Now it's Fox with a bomb. Something for them to chase. And it's Florimo safely under that ball. It's pretty awkward out here today, too, on the high kicks. Swirling around. Lindsay to Graham. Cannon. Jones misses him out, finds French. French with Kiss on the inside. Bella. McKinnon. Another pass, please. Out wide, Florimo will score. Well, Norths kept it alive. West couldn't make the tackles. Norths will come up with a try. Some pretty threadbare defence from West, and Norths capitalised with Florimo finishing it off.
Well, as you said, Bella got this ball away. Rather fortunate there. McKinnon able to pick up the crumbs, get the ball out wide, but Western Suburbs defence all at sea. Good play here. Long ball. Good ball by Kiss. And the young centre, a lot of raps on this fellow, and went very, very close to going touch the dead in goal. As you can see, tried to get a ball away, did Bella. There's McKinnon. Not often you see him run that quick. That's good play by the wingman, coming inside in support play. Long ball out wide, and as you can see, no one there at all. Watch closely, very, very close to that line.
I think of the death, he realised that it wasn't much point in trying to get it closer to the post because he was going to run it dead in goal. Here's Kiss's conversion. And he's got it, just inside the upright. Les Kiss busy in that play there. Had a fine game the other night for Queensland. North defeated. They've had a lot of ball in the first 20 minutes. This time, feet across. Ashley Lindsay penalised in the scrum. And Western Suburbs with this very strong breeze. A quick tap from Petherbridge. And North's offside. They can have a shot at goal this time if they want. North's failed to retire. Schubert. West's first points of the day. Just after 20 minutes. North's lead 6-2.
Was there any looking at the rule that we've introduced over here on the bomb?
Yeah, we saw it in the State of Origin. What a great game that was too on Tuesday night. And I think most of us who perhaps were a little hostile were moved round, and we've decided that we'll all probably experiment with it during our next seasons. And then at the next meeting in a year's time in Port Moresby, I should think it's got a very good chance of going through.
So how are preparations going for the Tour of England?
Great. I've never known such unprecedented interest. We've had to take 2 soccer grounds, as you know, to accommodate the big crowds we know that we're going to get. I think the 82 Kangaroos were so marvellous. Everybody wants to see the Kangaroos. We've made progress in those 4 years, and God, we needed to, particularly on our defensive game. We've got a young side.
I think we're going to have to go back to Jim.
There's Crooks, stands in the tackle. Ellis, chance for West. Petherbridge is over! It's 6-all. And you can see that building up. Western Suburbs making a bit of ground, standing in the tackles, the passes were going, and here's how they scored it.
This is the secret of running onto the ball. Crooks bursting through, gets the momentum, holds the ball up well, out wide, and quick pair of hands. The fullback linking through. Good play by the fullback there, good positional. Watch Crooks come through on the burst like an express train, and the North's defence didn't want to know anything about it. He had several seconds to make his choice, and that's what a fullback needs to do. Come into the line, and a good try.
Not his best kick, and it's still 6-all after 25 minutes. That's Cannon. MacArthur. Lindsay. Touch judges in. There's a bit going into these tackles, and the offenders on both sides in the main have been Crooks and Gavin Jones. Les Kiss, along with Gavin Jones, and to some extent too Martin Bella, the 3 Queenslanders joining North this year, have all played extremely well. Kiss snatching that try the other night from Brian Hetherington's fingertips. Here's his kick into the breeze. It's straight. Will it make it? Just made it over the bar. 2 points to North. They're back in the lead 10 minutes prior to half-time. How's that for a hairdo?
There's no doubt that the North Sydney coach, Brian Norton, will tell him to kick in the second half.
McKinnon.
The only problem with West being not using the kick was the fact that they haven't had the ball in possession long enough.
Friend with Graham. French. Good bust by French. Here comes Kiss. The pass went astray. Count starts again, though. Cannon's ball. Bella. Filipina. He loses it. And it'll be a scrum. Well, Brett French charging into the line there. That's Brian Norton, the North Sydney coach. Friend. Filipina. Graham. There's the Kiwi move. Friend's got it. Graham Friend and Filipina. And his friend again. Butler. Pops it back to Florimo. He had the right idea. And that was a bit high. And he's off. Friend's off. He sent him off for that high tackle. Well, I don't know about that. It certainly was a bit high. Have another look.
I think he got the chest.
Now Clayton Friend has been consoled by his teammates. And it's one of those awkward things for the referee. Obviously, at the time it happened, he thought it was a high, dangerous tackle. Got to look at it from the referee's viewpoint. He's the man on the spot as the siren goes for half-time here. And he had to make the decision, and that's the way it went. Friend sent off, so North will have just 12 men in the second half. Okay, North's with the breeze. 12 men to West 13. Cannon kicks off. Finds Sheehan to run it back. And often, of course, the sides that are playing with one man less than the opposition play as if they've got 15 and not 12 on the field. They often lift themselves above their normal level of performance. And look at the defence there from Norths. They've got the ball. West making the error again. Florimo. West had plenty of possession in the first half, but they forfeited an enormous amount. Graham, Mark Graham, he's lost it now. So that levels up the errors early on in the half. That's Rex Wright, down on the sideline. Cannon, a bomb. Sheehan's under it. Look out, Petherbridge falls on it, but there's a knock on. And there's an injury there. Well, Petherbridge just getting up slowly after it was knocked down by Sheehan, almost hit Sheehan on the nose.
Pretty difficult decision for the referee Stone there.
The West front row have had to make 64 tackles so far in the game. And they've had a lot of possession, but they keep giving it away. Cannon. Cannon's through and he's over. Oh, so easy. Cannon, who was playing halfback with Clayton Friend sent off, has breezed in for a try. Some really pathetic West defence. And look at this.
You said it all here, Burnsy. That was a woeful attempt. Tried to grab the jersey. Let's not take anything away from the lock forward. Through the dummy, out wide. And Burns trying to bring him back with a jumper. It's the legs that you've got to tackle.
So North with 12 men have a very handy lead with 12 men. And they've got 2 more points. So they lead 12, 14-6. It's 14-6 to Norths. Fox, the long ball. It was touched. Clark trying to race ahead. It's a handover. Well, that was interesting. That's McKinnon. Kiss comes running back. It looked in that previous play as though North had touched it when it went to Clark. Filipina. So North's back at them again, and they're going to get a penalty. Yet another penalty. We've had players being almost sat on, held, and lots of attempts at burglary during the game, trying to steal possession. There's Kiss. Should put this through. He's hit it okay, and he's got it. A 10-point margin for the Bears. They're back on track. Freeman. Fox. Let's Cogger back to Fox. Now Crooks. Burns. Fox. Cogger. Williams. Schubert. Henderson. Clark couldn't handle. North get it back. Well, they moved it wide. Now there's a penalty against Schubert. Schubert. Petherbridge stretches out to Clark. Brett Clark. Oh, great tackle. Butler was waiting and had him. Williams ball to Fox. Knocked down by Graham, who was offside, retiring. And he decided, yeah, this is probably just the right time to stop this movement. There's Des Drummond warming up. Hagan. Sheehan. Good run. Guess the West supporters going again. Cogger. Williams. He put the brakes on and Florimo wrapped him up. Ellis. Good one. Schubert. That's Petherbridge. Petherbridge for the corners over. So West's come back at last. Now their supporters have waited a while for their team to control the ball after making a break. It was a good break too. Here's Ellis.
Good pass by Ellis. Schubert realising that he's covered. Look at the determination. He's played well as Petherbridge. Watch for the neat pass. Good play by the prop. Good support play. And for once, Western Suburbs finish off a movement. Determined running is a deceptive runner is Petherbridge.
Crooks, who didn't start the day as the kicker, is taking over from Schubert. Into the breeze. Didn't quite come around enough. 6 points the difference. Around 14 minutes left in the game. Cogger, Williams, Crooks. Williams again. Straightening it. Shepherd. Blatant. Alan Fowler was right in front of him. They got all tangled up. And it's pretty obvious. Look at this. Oh, he knew it.
No doubt about that.
Kiss to keep up his record and make it 8 points the difference. He's hit it well, and he's got it inside the upright. So Les Kiss puts them 18-10 ahead. 18-10 to Norths.
It's been a good win from the North Sydney side. After last week's debacle against Illawarra.
Crooks to Williams. Williams links up from Fowler to Fox.
He's tried his heart out as a little halfback.
Fox is there, just been in everything for West today, trying to initiate some attack. Petherbridge's ball. That's Drummond. Drummond inside, and here's a try to Cogger. A runaway try, and Cogger, no one to beat, scores in a handy position. So West's not done yet.
So we're into the nail-biting stuff now. And this will build a lot of confidence for Drummond. It's the first time that he's had a real chance to get anywhere in the first grade. Good running, kept his cool at the right time.
Fine try to Cogger. There's the extras from right in front. Kicked by Schubert. So we're inside the last 5 minutes of the game. 2 points the difference. Awkwardly from Freeman. Schubert over the top. Drummond! The flash from the wing. Back to Petherbridge. And it was starting to look good for a moment, wasn't it, as Drummond flashed down there. But Norths had the cover. Lindsay taking his time. A timeout.
Well, it's to be expected.
Well, not much happened in there. Knock on a dummy half, just a little fudge. Just as he got up from this.
Costly error, this.
I think he's got him for not playing the ball correctly.
Well, it wasn't a penalty. West win the scrum against the head. Look at Fox. the siren's gone, that's it. Fox can't play the ball. What a game he's had for Wests. Derek Fox trying to inspire them, but Norse have taken the points and keep alive their slim hopes of making the final 5.
Once again, a gutsy win to the North Sydney Bears, and they do stay alive in 1986. Another team trying to stay alive this season, of course, is St George. They were at home against Parramatta at the Sydney Cricket Ground in Channel 10's NEC Big Game. St George virtually have to win, as I see it. A loss against Parramatta in the clash at the Cricket Ground would mean that they would probably need to win some 7 or 8 games out of their last 10. Let's take you to all the highlights at the Sydney Cricket Ground, St George against Parramatta.
Welcome to the NEC Big Game in round 15 of the Winfield Cup between St George and Parramatta, with today's match coming from the Sydney Cricket Ground. When the Eels and the Dragons met at the stadium back on March 16, it was Parramatta convincing winners 36 points to 6. And now, after 14 completed rounds, the Eels are on 20 points with St George on 14. The Saints come into today's game after a strong win last weekend over South Sydney, and their team rundown is Burgess, Walford, Johns, Beattie, Johnston, O'Connor, Haddock, Selby, Funnell, Fraser, Walsh, Guider is the captain, and Jarvis. Well, Parramatta had the bye last weekend and will be pleased to see the return of some of their regular first graders. Their full team is Taylor, Eden, Delroy and Muggleton the centres, Growth, Kenny, Sterling, Price, Laurie, Wynn, Lee Beater, Mosley and Bugden. The referee is Kevin Roberts for the clash between the Eels and the Dragons. St George running from left to right, guarding the Paddington end of the ground. Their first visit to the cricket ground. One of many that will be making, of course, between now and the end of September. Price running into a brick wall of defence from Selby and Fraser. Sterling's kick. Parramatta looking to have an advantage from the wind. We'll check that with Graham shortly. This is Burgess. Missed by Mosley, tackled by Price. Walford. Muggleton the tackler. Jarvis. At the back, and it was overrun by Fraser. Sterling doesn't know that he's overrun the flight path of the ball. And it's going to be a scrum. Number 7 feeding at Peter Sterling. And Kenny returning to the scene of a wonderful triumph on Tuesday night. Here's Kenny going across the ground, showing it, floating it out wide, picked up by Eden. Eden comes to his opposite number and is put to ground out there by Brian Johnston. Delroy playing in the centres with the return of Taylor, and of course dropping out of the team was Ella. Lee Beater to play it now. Sterling, Laurie. Sterling, his kick sending Burgess back towards the dead ball line. And Burgess coming back into the field of play. A man who has seen the highs and lows of his rugby league career all crammed into about half a season, Bill, Glenn Burgess.
Yes, he certainly has, and he's a player today that St George are going to need desperately, because Parramatta's keys to winning it as normal will hinge very much on their kicking game, and he's the man as fullback for St George that can defuse that.
It will be played by Johns, partnered in the centres by Beattie today. This is Fraser. What's it like down there, Graham? Wind behind Parramatta?
Well, it is. You can see, you judge this one for yourself. Steve Funnell only just barely made halfway into the breeze there. I kept my eye on Peter Sterling in the warm-up. He had 2 or 3 footballs where he was practicing a bit of kicking. I would suggest 6 to 8 points this breeze is worth to the Parramatta side. And also keep your eye on the middle here. We've already seen a couple of balls put down around the old cricket pitch area. They've had a lot of rain in the eastern suburbs overnight, and it's quite muddy in that middle field.
Terry Lee Beater. Ogden. Sterling. Kenny. Muggleton. O'Connor coming up from 5/8 to make the tackle. Sterling. Kick back into the middle of the ground, and in fact between the winger Walford, who's taking it now, and the fullback Burgess, and Leabeater and Mosley make the tackle.
The last few times I've seen Parramatta, they've used that tactic with their kicking game where rather than kick for the sideline and virtually give the opposition the ball because of getting the scrum feed and the loose head, they just kick for the try line. They get the ball down there, pin you close to the try line, and of course it's very hard for you then to get organised because it takes you a couple of rucks to get set.
And of course, playing here and at the stadium, you've got that big in-goal area, which gives more reason for that tactic. Here's Jarvis. Here's the lowers coming up. 23s to Parramatta, 26-10. Reserves 28-18 to the Blue and Golds. Sterling on the full takes it. O'Connor got himself into the play, and here's Kenny up inside the 32-metre line. Mosley, Wynn, Delroy in and out. Price is the ruck half. They stack the blind. Wynn seems to have found form again. Peter Wynn. Laurie. That's the fourth tackle gone now for the Parramatta team. They've held very good field position. Sterling, Kenny. O'Connor's got Kenny, but he's able to stand long enough to get it away. Eden runs over the top of it. And I do think this will be a St George feed. Brian Johnston, I don't think, touched it until it actually had gone over the line. This was the ball bouncing. Of course, it doesn't matter which way it bounces, providing it's passed backwards. Sterling to work it. Just into St George's area. Same tunnel. And a penalty now. And he's got the St George hooker for going in with a loose arm. Chris Guida. Probably the smallest player in the St George team. And to be quite honest with you, I think he's the smallest player I can remember captaining a first-grade side. There he is, not much bigger than Malcolm Johnston. That is an official lie. Gross. Taken by Guida. He might lack size, but he lacks no courage. Now it's Laurie. That's him around Laurie now. No marker. Well, that's bad play by the Saints. Laurie has gone down inside the 10-metre line, and they could easily have given a penalty right there. Now it's Price across, and Sterling comes across, and then Wynn goes straight. And Wynn is tackled about 5 metres out from the line. Roberts refereeing from adjacent. He'll score, Wynn! Yes, it's a try! Peter Wynn claims his try, and that it is. Well, the St George defence was throwing out signals of distress for 2 play the balls prior, when Laurie was allowed to play it as he liked, and then Wynn's done the same. That is a very disappointing passage of play for the Dragons, and Peter Wynn picks up a try.
I suppose the question we've got to ask here is where is the St George fullback, and where he was up in the defensive line. No one at home. Wynn realised that and capitalised on it.
So Peter Wynn picks up the first points of the match with a try almost behind the uprights. And he's got it. But the touch judges took a long look at it. Scoreline 6-0 in favour of Parramatta. Haddock. Here's Selby. Mosley. Oh, Bugden come over the top. Sterling's got the ball. So it's played back to Peter Wynn now. Across to Laurie. Laurie taken. Sideline comment. Graham.
Well, it's interesting the amount of play that Brett Kenny and also Peter Sterling have involved themselves in. Even when inside their own half, they haven't chosen to kick for the sideline on the early tackles. They've been very confident, quietly confident between them that they can find gaps in the St George defence and out wide. St George making their own, being their own worst enemy, coming up with mistakes. No markers 2 or 3 times in the play now. Although if you look at the scoreboard, a strong breeze behind Parramatta, 6-0 in favour of Parramatta. I'd be happy with that scoreline if I was the Saints at half-time.
This is Bugden. Now it's Sterling. Kenny holds it back and tries to get it out at a second opportunity. Fraser made the tackle. 5 gone for Parramatta. Sterling's with it. There's the kick from him. He's got it back. He'll score. Oh, he's a fair dinkum freak, this kid. He is a fair dinkum freak, little Sterling. He has picked up this game where he left the one on Tuesday night. Totally in his command. Here he is, Peter Sterling. A little kick ahead. Sure, they say champions make their own time and they make their own luck. Well, I'll tell you what, he is getting a double helping of it from somewhere.
You see, what Sterling did here was he took the ball right up to the defensive line. They had no option but to come to him and try to make a tackle. That gave him the space for the kick. He got a fortunate bounce off a St George player, but it didn't matter. He was Johnny on the spot to take advantage of it, threw in the step from the left foot and scored under the black dot.
Mike Eden from right in front attempting conversion of Sterling's try. And it's straight over the black dot. And so Parramatta racing away now to a lead of 12 points to 0. Roy Masters, a worried look on his face. And why not? Looking at John Money, you'd think he was the losing coach at the moment. Here's Price. I said in Eyewitness News as I previewed this match on Friday just how Sterling and Kenny love the spaces here. That comment, of course, can be made of Canterbury, and of course it could easily have been made of St George for a number of years. But these two guys are the fellows that are calling the tune at the moment, particularly this little fellow, Sterling. Bugden. Oh, he's in and out the other side, and Kenny put it down. Well, this big fellow, Bugden, he was made to look very good there, but his form in recent weeks has been excellent.
All the danger signs are there for St George now. They just can't afford to let Parramatta score again in this half, because once Parramatta get you by the throat, they don't let go. If they get further on top of St George here, they'll cut them to ribbons. St George must score next.
6 more tackles for the Saints. This is Jeff Selby. Now it's Perry Haddock. He fends off Mosley. Price has got him. Midway 22 halfway, Parramatta's into the ground. They hit the blind. Jarvis taken low, turns it back to Funnel. Out it goes now for Guida. Here's a chance. Johnston gets it inside for Guida. Taken by Taylor. And then Selby, I do believe, is tackled there by Terry Leabeater. It was Cole Fraser. Now it's come through Haddock. It's now with Funnel. Funnel gets a step in his work, and there's a try. Oh, that was a good piece of work by Funnel. The try scored by Michael O'Connor, but the big second rower, he can put it down very much to his performance. That St George have picked up the 4-pointer. Here it is again on the NEC replay. This St George try, this big man Funnel, he was the destroyer. A fend and a high step and then a nice delivery, and Mike O'Connor supported, and there's a try for St George.
It was very important for St George that they hit back quickly, and they did. Funnel started it all. He got his hands free, made the ball available to O'Connor. He came through on the fly and went through to score a very important try.
See it again on another camera, and watch the work of this fellow, Funnel. He totally committed John Muggleton, and then he stepped around him and out of him. So O'Connor's kick is successful, and the new scoreline is 12 points to 6, pardon me, in favour of Parramatta over St George. The cricket pitch area is causing quite a bit of trouble out there, Graham.
Well, it certainly is in the middle of the park here, but those tactics that I spoke of earlier in the game when I thought that Kenny and Sterling...
Hold the phone, here's Haddock. Haddock, cut down by Taylor. Just outside the 22 line. Now it's with Selby. St George supporters come to their feet. Burgess taken to ground, 12 metres out from the Parramatta line. The pressure's not off yet. Through 2 sets, it's gone to Funnell. Funnell, who made the first try. Can he make another? Yes, he can. Oh, boy, I thought he was over. Funnell to play it, inches from the line. Mike O'Connor, the dummy half. It's gone out now for Johns, and he's tackled on 5. 2 metres out from the line. Played by the centre. The kick by O'Connor, and Eden watches it go over the touch-in goal, so it'll be a 22-place kick. And Roy goes back to his seat. O'Connor, up they come. O'Connor, oh, beautiful piece of light stepping by the international as he takes play down towards the 22. Played back by Fraser. Guida runs from dummy half, and a good long run of about 9 metres. Saints are only 12 metres from the line. Selby now. Selby claps on a bit of speed, takes the defence. Now it's with Michael Beattie. Beattie looks inside. He had Johns there unmarked, but it'll be a scrum. A scrum about 7 metres out from the Parramatta line. That was Selby taking them on. He certainly drew plenty of attention, and then Beattie was trying to work out what the ruling was on Beattie. The referee must have thought that he saw a knock on, because if he passed from the ground, then of course he was obliged to give the penalty. I'm not quite sure what the ruling was down there. Here's Taylor with it now. Under 3 minutes of time to go to the break. Played by Ray Price. Mosley goes for a dummy half run. Good defence by Guida. And also involving himself there was Chris Walsh. And Parramatta gets a penalty as a touch judge goes in. And he wants Walsh back at the scene of the crime. It was Guida and Walsh making the tackle. Well, it's still a mystery what that caution on Walsh is all about. Mosley. 12-6 in favour of Parramatta. Under 2 minutes of the first half to go. And this is Leabeater who plays it on the halfway. Bugden coming up the middle. Sterling. Kenny. Now it's Laurie. I think St George have got it. Yes, they have. Funnell. Having a good game is Steve Funnell. Here's a chance for St George. O'Connor's going very fast. And the penalty goes to Parramatta. Well, he's ruled Mike O'Connor was in front of the kicker. That's his ruling. Some people were of the belief that O'Connor was held back. But looking at that camera angle, that's O'Connor, the foremost of the St George players. He was definitely in front of the kicker. And the referee, quite right, Kevin Roberts. Mosley, 35 seconds to go. Leabeater. Bugden. Sterling. Price cut out. Muggleton. Now it's Delroy. Delroy taken to ground 32 metres out. And 5 seconds of time to go as Sterling takes a long look at that timepiece. He goes for a drop goal. And it's gone over the dead ball line as the siren sounds. And the end of the first 40 minutes with Parramatta going to Oranges leading by 12 points to 6. And here's a half-time comment from Graham Hughes.
Well, a strong comeback from the St George side. 12-6 that half-time scoreline. It was 12-0. St George, I'm sure their coach Roy Masters will be telling them to cut down their mistake rate, especially inside their own half. They've got to make sure that they certainly keep their eyes on men like Brett Kenny and Peter Sterling. If they can cut their advantages down in the second half and not allow them so much latitude, they can get home in this game.
There's the first half tackles, 125 for Saints, 103 Parramatta, and Guida with 20 topping the count for St George. Taylor 15 for Parramatta. As we see Parramatta now left to right and funnel straight into their game plan, and that is to use the breeze. Taylor tackled about 12 metres his side of the halfway. Now Gross. Parramatta held the ball for 91 tackles in the first half as opposed to St George 70. Two scrums against the feed, one by Mosley, one by Guida. Parramatta kicked 12 times, St George 10. Just some of the first half statistics that you might be interested in. Kenny to play it now. Sterling. And I think he's fished Burgess out to take it and run it. And it'll be played just outside the St George 22. Johnston cut down by Taylor. Haddock. And Fraser can't take it. Price comes up with it. Price inside the 22. Back for Leabeater. And hit from behind by Jarvis. The Parramatta normally will push the ball around. It's gone across through Sterling to Kenny. Kenny comes back inside, finds Laurie. Laurie's about 15 metres out. Ray Price is getting up slow, so is Pat Jarvis. As Mosley runs to the left and goes to the 10-metre line. Obviously, it's an ankle with Price. And it's Wynn across, and Sterling can't take it. It's come down to St George. Advantage rule applies. Jarvis back with his teammates now, in fact running it out. Price limping. Burgess. Leabeater clutching at his right elbow. He's trying to get some feeling back in that right arm. Guida. That's the way to go, Chrissy Guida. Out from dummy half. A 40-metre run. And tackled by Taylor. 5 gone for the Dragons. Jarvis out to O'Connor and intercepted by Brett Kenny. Good night, ladies and gentlemen. Brett Kenny, a 50-metre burst from intercept and puts it down behind the uprights. Well, just as St George looked like they might be going to send Michael Beattie down the members' stand touchline, Kenny positioned himself. See it again. Have a look at it. This is Beattie that's going to be on his own. But no siree. Like an eagle after its prey, Kenny zeroed in on the ball and then ran over 50 metres to score. He knew he was outnumbered. He wasn't going to be in the tackling department, but he was going to be looking for that intercept.
Kenny just reads these so well. He moved himself up, waited for the pass to be thrown. When it was thrown, he just adjusted between the two players, put his right hand up, pulled it down, and so another Brett Kenny intercept is placed firmly over the try line.
So Brett Kenny takes the Parramatta score to 16, St George 6. Eden has kicked 2 from 3, and that makes it 3 from 4. 18 points to 6 in favour of the Eels over the Dragons. Taylor's again involved in that tackle. I think that's 4 in a row. Haddock. Now it's O'Connor. Trying to get his arms loose there, Mike O'Connor, to hopefully turn it around the corner. Here's Jarvis back to Johns. Now Haddock off the left foot, up and under. Eden positions himself. It came down off St George, backwards to Beattie, on to Burgess. Burgess away. Here comes a try. Is it? Oh, no, Guida. Guida was taken out of the play, ball and all, by Taylor. And Sterling it is who's tackled. Have a look at little Chrissy Guida. He's on his way as Fraser took it up. And then Guida didn't see Taylor coming and crunch. Sterling, Mosley on the run round. Kenny was going fast. Now it's Sterling. Cut out pass and Taylor can't handle. In fact, he's hurt. Through Haddock. Now Johns. He beat the big front row forward, Bugden, and it's come off the arm of O'Connor. He's ruled that it went forward. Brian Johnston was on his way, and let me assure you they would not have caught Brian Johnston.
They were 70 metres away, but St George there were going to score a try.
So here's the bus made by Johns. The pass went to O'Connor. It went forward off him. Johnston picked it up, but the referee recalled it. You were almost spot in line with it, Graham. How'd you see it?
Well, I don't think Chris Johns realised that he'd cleared the tackle of Michael Mosley, and I think O'Connor expected him to go a long way down the field before, in fact, passing. O'Connor was looking for him to take it all the way down to the fullback.
Here's Johns now. He's very fast. I don't think they'll catch him. Delroy, he's missed him. Growth. Oh, Growth came out of the clouds to make the tackle. Walford. And it's a penalty to St George. Funnel takes the tap, spreads it wide, over it goes to Burgess. Burgess taken over there by Sterling and Muggleton. Well, I didn't think they'd catch Chrissy Johns. Now it's with Haddock. Beattie taken by Wynn and Price. Selby. Guida. Gets it out. Haddock. Now Jarvis. Long ball for O'Connor. O'Connor taken by Delroy. Open side's the way to go. Here they go. Funnel. A couple of metres from the line. 5 tackles gone against the Dragons now. O'Connor off the hands of Beattie. Loose. Fraser on Taylor. Taylor to Johnston. It's a try. No. The referee ruled the ball went forward.
He looked at his touch judge for an indication, and the touch judge was the one that confirmed it for him.
No question, he's looked at the touch judge for a long time. There's nothing wrong with what you've seen, apart from the ball came off a set of hands earlier. That's where it must have went forward. Ball played by Brett Kenny. John Muggleton. 8 metres out. Wynn, scorer of 1 try. The first. Dummy half is Taylor. Now it's Sterling. He puts a little drop goal over. That takes them to 19-6. Just gives them that cushion outside of 2 converted tries. They worked away for it. They weren't going to be enticed into the try, and Sterling kicks the drop goal. 19-6 in favour of Parramatta. You're watching the NEC big game. Long ball. They've got numbers. Funnels past miles behind O'Connor. O'Connor goes infield, and a penalty to Parramatta. And Perry Haddock shakes his fist as if to say, is anything going to go right for us? Here was Mike O'Connor away from Sterling, and then the shepherd has been ruled because number 13, Bugden, was obstructed. But let me say this, Jeff had as much chance of making a tackle as I did. So Paul Osborne has gone to the sideline, Graham.
Yes, Pat Jarvis has come off the field, although he was rather reluctant to do so.
The tap to be taken by the Eels, 22 out. Mosley. Lee Beater. About 15 metres out. Kenny, Wynn, quick ball, 19 is Eden. Eden brought down about 5 metres out from the line. Taylor, Bugden. Pass looked a touch forward. Mosley, Sterling. Grubber kicks for a try. Who's got it? Laurie. Oh. Laurie's dealing with fire there. Fancy plucking one out of the hands of Brett Kenny. But Mark Laurie has worked for it. He picked up the 4-pointer. Beautiful kick by Sterling. Kenny and Laurie went for it. I thought Kenny had it, but Laurie was in there first.
Sterling's got this wonderful ability to read the game. He realised the St George defence was coming up extra quick. He could just put the ball in behind them and had the support coming through to finish it off.
Well, Mark Laurie is one of the players in this side of superstars who you don't hear a lot about. 3 from 4 for Eden. He won't take a paycheck as a goal kicker tonight. They've all been from in front. But knowing Mike, he'll take it. 4 out of 5 now for Eden, 25-6 in favour of Parramatta. You're watching the NEC big game. Walford. Haddock. It's Osborne. So the last 10 minutes of the match with Parramatta leading 25-6. And John's running onto a beautiful O'Connor pass, then Burgess. Now it's been knocked down by Parramatta. 6 more tackles, St George. Away goes Funnell from dummy half. Inside the 22, Mosley stopped his progress. Wynn cleaned him up. Over to Haddock. And a little Haddock getting it back for Chris Walsh. Play 10 metres out now from the Parramatta line. Osborne. 360 degrees, and then he offloads the ball to Fraser, who's over the line. That's a try. You can call it soft if you like. And certainly a lack of commitment in defence from Parramatta. But Fraser picks up the 4 points after Osborne had done the lead-up work. Taylor had him, Wynn had him, but they both let him out of their clutches. And Taylor came out of it injured.
Well, it's very hard to maintain your intensity in defence when it's not necessary. Parramatta realised they've got this one parcelled up. St George strung together a couple of passes. It was very ordinary defence, but credit to the player that crashed over.
Colin Fraser, the try scorer, 81-85. His career so far with St George. And a very good worker for the club. Very good worker on any of the charitable things that St George have been asked to put on. Let's take some changes, Graham.
Well, Ray Price will be one who was hobbling well early in the second half, and also Peter Wynn.
22 and 35. 22 is Paul Mears. 35, Graham Kelly. Ray Price and Peter Wynn.
Walford's kick successful. So 25-12 in favour of Parramatta. No joy here for the Dragons today. And their chances of making the final 5 looking shakier as the seconds of this match tick by, and as the matches in the second round of the Winfield Cup also roll on. Taylor sent back on a long run. Jackson. There's the siren. A match probably marred in the eyes of many by a lot of drop ball, and in fact that was supported by Peter Sterling. 25 points to 12. A match that certainly that man Brett Kenny together with Peter Sterling left their stamp on. Win Sterling, Kenny, Laurie tries. Eden 4 goals, Sterling a drop goal. And for the Saints, O'Connor and Fraser their tries, and O'Connor and Walford kicked a goal each. 25 to 12 in favour of Parramatta over St George. Let's have a look at the other results now. Yesterday, of course, Norths defeating Western Suburbs 18 points to 16. And then today, Balmain 26, Canberra 10, Penrith 28, Eastern Suburbs 8, Parramatta 25, St George 12, and Cronulla Sutherland, the shock of the round, probably the shock of the season, 18 defeated Canterbury 8.
When Terry Lamb started and finished a typically smart Canterbury backline try after 14 minutes with some help from Chris Mortimer and then Steve O'Brien, it looked a matter of how far the Bulldogs. But Cronulla had other ideas, and from here on, to the surprise of all, they took control. After 31 minutes, halfback Scott Gustard stepped through some skinny defence to have the Sharks level 6-all at the break. The Bulldogs had a bad bout of distemper, and the young Sharks were hungry for points. 11 minutes into the second half, Perry, Gustard and then Eddinghausen did the lead-up before Jonathan Docking took the final pass to plunge over, and the Sharks hit the front 10 points to 8. Michael Porter, playing like he did in 1985 when he worried the defences with his bull-like charges, did it all by himself to send the Sharks to a 14 points to 8 lead. And fittingly, the Sharks left the best until last. Gavin Miller, who had a great match, started the try, with Michael Speechley, who sent Glenn Mortimer into the clear. He found Andrew Eddinghausen, who positioned Phil Hurst, who ran away for the Sharks' 4th try. Cronulla easy 18 points to 8 winners.
On a cold and bleak day at Lidcombe Oval, the Raiders drew first blood at the 3-minute mark when replacement prop Mike Makito made a mess of taking the bomb, allowing Ivan Hanjak to pounce on the scraps. But it wasn't long before the Tigers came in from the cold with their first try after a Gary Bridge cutout pass found the strong running Gary Jack. Balmain were running hot just before half-time when they scored one of the tries of the season, taking a 10-6 lead to the break. There were 4 tries in the second half, with Balmain scoring 3 of them, completing 3 straight wins for the Tigers with a convincing 26-10 victory, leaving the Raiders languishing at the wrong end of the competition table.
At Penrith Park, the Panthers ran the ball with great confidence right from the opening whistle. At the 10th minute, Brad Izzard chased a Greg Alexander kick, regathered, was ankle tapped, got up and scored the try. A Tony Melrose penalty made it 6-2, but 10 minutes later, a typical Greg Alexander pass set up David Lydiard. It was 12-2 at half-time, and no doubt Peter Anderson knew exactly how East were feeling. The Roosters tightened their defence early in the second half, but when Greg Alexander stood in a tackle and unloaded, Penrith kept the ball alive beautifully until Lydiard found Brad Izzard on the burst, and he gave replacement winger Ken Wolfe a clear run to the line. Final score, Penrith 28, East's 8.
Parramatta a big win over St George, and straight forward now to Monday night football. Tooheys Monday night football, the first of the year, sees South Sydney take on the Illawarra Steelers again under lights at the Sydney Cricket Ground. South Sydney, well, they've fallen from grace after leading the Winfield Cup for some weeks. They lost 2, they've lost their last 2 games, and they come up against the side Brian Smith's Illawarra Steelers that have proved the stumbling block for some of the top sides right throughout the year. It's going to be a great game between the Steelers and the Rabbits, so let's take you now to all the highlights. Tooheys Monday night football.
Greg McCallum in charge of the initial match. But let me give you the tip, even though it might feel a little bit cold out there, if you can make it down to the SCG, the Pat Hill stand, the Brawongle, there's plenty of good accommodation here. In fact, I've got to tell you that a lot of the people that are at the cricket ground aren't within camera's range. There's cosily hidden away in some of the areas. There's the Brawongle, of course, a very popular meeting place at the cricket ground these days. So Greg McCallum calls time on as Baker gets us off and running in the opening match of Tooheys Monday Night Football. And this is Mannix. and met by the South Sydney reception committee, 4 of them in all, and a penalty goes to Illawarra. Again, South's inside the 5. Back on the Illawarra 22 line. South last year provided us with one of our very best Monday night football matches. The kick for touch is a good one, finding it about 5 metres into South Sydney's area. I wouldn't be surprised if the Steelers stretch them right out, Bill.
I'll be surprised if there's anything.
Oh, good ball!
Well, it's a game that'll go right down to the wire, this one. You've got two sides that are fairly similar. I think Illawarra have a slight advantage with pace in the backs and probably Souths with aggression in the forwards.
So it was a neat piece of football here.
Couldn't get the full extent of it, but Mario Fenwick ran to the sideline, called to the South Sydney bench and called for the South Sydney doctor, Nathan Gibbs, to be brought out onto the field. The trainer didn't know what it was about, but he's gone in search of the doc, and Fenwick's the man in trouble.
This is Smith. So there's obviously some trouble there for South Sydney. As Mackie puts the kick in, Cruikshank has to do a 360. He's got the ball outside the 22. And launching himself into the tackle was Michael Carberry. Cleaning up was Worthington. Now the ball across to one of the Moon brothers, Jason Moon, the blonde-headed winger. Looks like he's pretty quick off the mark. Fenwick turns it back, finds Rampling. Across to Coleman. On it goes through Boyle to DeJura. Ball goes loose. Illawarra comes up with it. Running across the ground was upfield. He gets the pass away to McIndoe. Very fast, this man. Keeping the legs in the field of play. Upfield the dummy half. It's back to Patterson. Out the back goes the ball to Hetherington now. Hetherington to play at about 20 metres out from the line. Play almost in the centre of the ground as they sweep back to the blind side, and a nice ball from Kissel. The 5'8" has gone loose as the defence came in and made the hit on upfield. It's Worthington, a short ball to Mackie, then a short pass to Carberry, and he looked on his left, no support. Ladder, Mackie, cut out pass, Kissel, grubber kick goes over the touchline. It came off a South Sydney player. Well, our guest commentator tonight, he's already told you who he's rooting for. Don Lane, how are they going in your opinion?
Well, I think they're doing all right and they're holding their own. They should be doing a lot more, actually. We were just commenting on the fact that some players are making moves that aren't there, and consequently they're dropping the ball a lot.
Well, here they are bringing it out from inside their own in goal through Coleman. It's gone across through Moon and over with Brett Ross. He's gone outside the 22. Now he's run into some traffic and he's going back and around. The referee saw what Illawarra appealed for, a penalty for obstruction, but the referee said, I saw it, no obstruction, play on. Boyle tackled in 23. Still no score, 0-0, Illawarra and Souths. Mackie across now for Worthington to give to Carberry. Then it goes to Hetherington. Inside the 22. Comes to the 10-metre line, McIndoe, but he's put down. Well, there was a real chance and a half here for Illawarra. They're really piling on the pressure. It's only a case of probably holding the football for a longer period of time. Davidson. Oh, he's stolen the ball, Kissel. He's off inside the 22. Here comes the defence. Still not held. They had a second bite at him.
Did a good job, but he stayed in.
And a penalty has gone to Illawarra. And it's against the marker for the manner in which he struck at the ball. Here it is on the Tooheys replay, the stealing of the ball by Kissel. He was desperately looking for a faster man like McIndoe or somebody else to come along on his inside. Taken by Bolt. He's gone to within 3 metres of the line. The prop forward Worthington in 11. Still 2 metres out. Still no score. Patterson inside for upfield. 8 metres from the line. Mackie, blindside through Carberry to Kissel. He floats one out for Worthington. He holds it back from McIndoe, turns it inside, picked up on the second bounce by Upfield, given back to Mackie. Mackie grubber kicks ahead, cleaned up there by David Boyle. Touch judge in. Touch judge in. Normally I'd say to you that it must be to do with the attacking team, but I'm just wondering at what point the touch judge saw the illegality. Mackie was the man who grubber kicked ahead. What we saw on camera there was seen by Greg McCallum. This touch judge is making a report, and there's somebody going to the bin. It's Boyle. David Boyle for 10 minutes in the sin bin. Five straight penalties to the Steelers. 8-5 the penalty count to them. 10 minutes in the sin bin for David Boyle, number 23. Kick from Lada, his second of the night, hits the uprights, bounces back into the field of play and taken by Rampling. I think he was looking back at the uprights, anticipating that might happen, and Rampling came up with the reward for that action. Penalty to Souths. That'll be greeted. Hello, 10 more minutes in the bin. He sent Michael Carberry to the sin bin for 10. Let's have a look at this. Well, it seems that that's what he did to earn the 10 minutes in the sin bin.
I don't know that there's much Michael Carberry could do about it. He made an effort to get up and play the ball. Davidson got up quickly, put him off balance, and that was all there was to it.
Well, if he's going to send blokes to the bin for things like that, he's not going to have many left. This is Evans, one-hander down on the bounce taken by Coleman. He's on the halfway, off to Baker. Baker away now for David Moon to give to his brother Jason. He comes back infield. By golly, I'll tell you what, every time he's handled, he's done well. Fennick, Coleman, DeJura. Crunching tackle there from Mackie over the top. Coleman. Chips over the top. Lada. 10 metres out from the line, not even that. Good tackle, Coleman. McIndoe. Outside the 22, tackled by Rampling. Well, Craig Coleman's working overtime, Don, in the absence of Phil Gould.
He certainly is, and meanwhile, this little tactical move of putting Neil Baker into the back line has certainly paid off for him. And don't forget, later on in this game, you're going to see some things out of David Cruikshank. He's an exceptional player. If he starts coming up here, you'll see some trouble. I think Souths are very lucky at the moment. They've been let off the hook at least 3 times.
Ball to be played by Michael Bolt. This is Lada, and he's found touch. DeJura. A kick on the first tackle. That'll be looking for a runner. Moon's going down, but McIndoe's back for it. And here's McIndoe coming away. Up towards the 40-metre line.
We're only 3 minutes to go before half-time, and these are the periods in a match just before half-time when defences can tend to relax as players get tired, and it's a good time to put through an attacking ploy.
Chisholm tackled by Cassell. Boyle. Davidson. Upfield and Worthington holding the progress of the big second or front rower. And they're watching the clock there in the sin bin for Michael Carberry. He was trying to break through the front of the gates there too, Carberry. Sin bin official said, hey, we'll back. Baker. Little chip over the top by Baker. Mackie's going back urgently, and Lada comes up with the ball. Lada's made a run of about 10 metres, turns it back to Hetherington. But all he did was really serve Brian Hetherington up with a dump. Carberry back on. David Moon. Davidson. Quick hands from Boyle to Bronco DeJura. Tackled by Michael Bolt, who was trapped out wide. Coleman. Picked up by Cruikshank. Cruikshank. Beautifully tackled by Mackey. Grass-cutting tackle. Baker goes for the drop goal. That's how urgent the situation is starting to appear. It's a field goal for Neil Baker. Right on half-time. And there it is, the half-time scoreline in Tooheys Monday Night Football. South 1, Illawarra 0. Tajura, Coleman. Moons with him, cuts him out. Baker's taken it. Flicks it out the back for Coleman. Craig Coleman still going. The ball went forward to Tajura. Well, good rolling by McCallum. He was right in line with it too. In fact, we were at exact opposites here, McCallum and the commentary box. It wasn't much forward, but it certainly was. And McCallum putting the scrum down. Coming out the back of the scrum, and it was Cassell. Penalty to South. That's for walking off the mark. Well, Baker will have, I would think, little trouble with this. It's right in front, 30 metres out. Let's go to the sidelines as Neil builds his mount. Here's Don Lane with another great rabbit, Bob McCarthy.
Yeah, you two fellas know each other, don't you?
Haven't you met my father?
Yes, I do know, yeah. You old blokes played together, didn't you?
Oh, yeah, a long time ago, yes.
How you doing?
Very good, Don, very good.
You're looking very healthy.
Oh, you always were a smooth talker.
Yeah.
Bob, it's a bit of a disappointing game.
Very dour, Graham. Yeah, I'm lucky I had to sleep this afternoon, otherwise I would have fell asleep up in the grandstand. But, you know, there's no fancy attackers out there, but it's a good defensive game. And, you know, as I say, he's going to win this game from here on in.
All right, we might stay with the kick here with Neil Baker.
Yes, here's Baker from, well, about 27 metres out, right in front. Getting away in flight, but still good enough to get the flags in the air, and South Sydney get the 2 points. They lead by 3 points to 0.
Would you be looking for a lot more running from dummy half?
Well, it all depends. Mario Finek, as we all realise, is South's leader from dummy half.
Well, he's carrying an
injury, but he's still going in there, so possibly that is the instructions that they're using at the present time. But I'm at a loss as to why Illawarra don't use a kicking game. They don't, you know, not varying their play. They just they know South's got a good defence, and they're just more or less just running one out at them. And you know, if they don't use that kick, well, they won't break up that good South defence.
All right, all the balls with South now. Bob, thanks for joining us.
Thanks very much, Graham.
Yes, differential penalty to Souths. Was Michael Bolt penalised eventually for being down in the scrum. Baker's going to kick at the perpendicular, really, setting up a play that we don't want to be any closer than they were. That was about 15 metres out. So it's two simple plays towards the middle, or fractionally towards the middle. Now they put another one up behind to play the ball. It's Chisholm. Coleman, Tajura, Baker. And that's Cruikshank in from the fullback position. 5 metres out from the line. Coleman again. Gets it to Baker. Baker scores. First try of the night. First try of Monday Night Football season. Scored by Neil Baker. Well, the script had been written at many, many training sessions down at Redfern as you watch the Tooheys replay. They had 2 bites at the cherry. They were working on tackles 4 and 5 for the try. And this was the second bite that they had that paid off for them.
Illawarra had the numbers here, but Baker had too much pace for Worthington, who just couldn't, for Upfield, who just couldn't go with him. You'll see here that Baker used to fend, used all the pace he had, got around him. It was a fairly ordinary tackle, and he was able to go over in the corner.
Fennick doing a great job to hang in there. As I said, it's a great tribute, really, to the man's dummy half talents that he's been left there. Of course, his leadership in the pack, too, is well documented. Baker from the touchline, 25 out, that's short and wide, and so no change. 7 points to 0 in favour of the Rabbitohs over the Steelers. And South coming up with a good football here as De Jura is tackled just outside the 25-metre mark. Now Fenwick has gone to the canvas. It's the first time I think Fenwick's found the canvas. It's missed him by about 3 feet, hasn't it?
Never got near him at any stage.
Let's have another look. Whoa!
It was like watching the wrestling.
Patterson was the man that threw the blow. Let's have another look at it now. Mario's there. Oh, I don't think it missed at all. I think it might have just grazed the whiskers on the cheek.
Well, I've never seen Patterson throw a punch before in rugby league, so obviously Mario has given him something to become upset about. But Fenwick came out on top of it. Even further so if Baker can pot this goal. Left the boot all right. He likes it. It's a goal. 9 points to 0. 9 points to 0 in favour of the Rabbitohs over the Steelers. Oh, Patterson inside and outside. It's gone to Carberry. Oh, it's been put down by the replacement. Baker. So Russell had only just taken the field and he had a chance there to put Illawarra's first try on the board. Carberry, Mackie, Patterson, around the back for Hetherington, and he's well tackled there by David Moon. Now it's Mackie putting the kick high. It's coming down in the in goal. Oh, he doesn't know where it is, Cruikshank, but it's a penalty to Souths. He's ruled that one of the South players was held off the ball, or in fact interfered with by one of the Illawarra players in this contest for the ball. See it on the Tooheys replay. Cruikshank is under it, and as far as he's concerned, McPherson has taken Cruikshank out of the game and has given a penalty to South. Mackie. Long ball to Patterson, now to Russell. This is Hetherington. Now it's out to Mannix. Mannix away from... No, he's not. De Jura hanging on to a little bit of jumper hanging out the back of the shorts there. Patterson. McPherson. Carberry. Away from one, gets it out now, and here's McIndoe. McIndoe with some space to work in, has to kick ahead, and I think Cruikshank has given the penalty. He's waiting for the referee. At the point where the ball landed, he's given the penalty. As McIndoe kicked ahead, Cruikshank by right should have been sin bin for, I would have thought, a trip. Up in that vital top three. That's where you've got to be. This is Carberry losing it. Russell scoops it away. Upfield gets a half a pass away, and it's down to McIndoe. The siren has sounded, and referee Greg McCallum calls a halt, with South Sydney running out the victors by 9 points to 0. And there's the scoreboard after it was 1-0 at half-time. With that win by South, of course, it's put them firmly again in that top three. That was the big risk factor tonight for them. 24 Manly, 22 Parramatta Souths, 20 Penrith, 19 Canterbury. There's your 5. Balmain 1 point out of it. Then we have North Sydney on 16, St George. They're 5 points out of the 5. West 13, East 12, Illawarra 12, Cronulla 10, and Canberra bottom of the table on 8. And let's have a look at next week's premiership matches right now. And North play Penrith. Manly versus St George. That Bears versus Panthers is on Saturday. Manly and Saints. And then South play Cronulla. Canberra versus Illawarra. Easts have the bye. Sunday, it's Parramatta versus Balmain. And Monday, Canterbury versus Western Suburbs. And so another week of rugby league, and a great one it was too. I hope you've enjoyed the program, just like Winfield have enjoyed proudly sponsoring this week of rugby league.